Get ready for tricks or treats because Halloween will soon be upon us. And what better way to get into the holiday spirit than to venture deep into the dark and spooky woods? And that's exactly what we'll be doing on this episode of SquatchSpot.com. For 18 years, I've traveled the world on board a luxury cruise ship. I've gone to many exotic lands and have had many exciting experiences. But nothing can compare to the encounter I had deep in the forests of the California Sierra Nevada mountains when, while on a solo backpacking trip, I had a face-to-face encounter with a Sasquatch. I'm Darren Smith. Join me on my personal quest to solve this mystery. Hello and welcome to SquatchSpot.com. I'm Darren Smith, and on this episode we're continuing our investigation of Road 426, just outside of Oakhurst, California, near Bass Lake. And on this episode we have a very special guest, my niece, Miss Alli Oldfield.
Hi, thanks for having me, Uncle Darren.
It is a pleasure, and Bigfoot better watch out tonight because Miss Alli here, she is an amateur mixed martial arts fighter. So, first of all, the big question here is, do you believe in Bigfoot?
Well, I think there's just too much evidence out there and too many sightings just to ignore the fact that something's out there.
So, that's why we are continuing our investigation. I myself have had a personal encounter. Alli has not, but she does believe that the evidence is compelling enough to get us out looking. And another question is, how did you get involved in the mixed martial arts fighting?
Well, when I was little, I was taking a free karate class and I just fell in love with martial arts. And when I went off to college, there was an MMA gym close to my school and I just took it up and liked it ever since.
That's great. And I feel a lot more confident being in the woods with a martial arts professional here. In fact, I don't even think I need the bear mace today. But today what we're up to is we're actually going to be setting up some game cams in this area to see if we can get a picture of this elusive beast. And tonight we're going to return to this area to continue our investigation using night vision technology. So, Miss Alli, are you ready for adventure?
I'm ready.
We're going to get to work.
All right.
My niece and I spent quite a bit of time searching the area for physical evidence. We found a number of heavily used game trails that were very well groomed. There are a number of researchers who believe that Sasquatch frequent certain trails, which they actually groom of overhanging branches and the like, so that they can use these trails unobstructed. It also helps them to quietly move through the forest when on the hunt for prey, or when trying to avoid humans. The cameras we are using today are among my favorite in my arsenal. On the right is the Reconyx Hyperfire HC600 Covert. This camera has a minimal infrared glow. It has a very fast trigger speed, and it will take multiple pictures consecutively. This really is a great camera, but unfortunately it comes with a hefty price tag. The second camera we are deploying is a Bushnell Trophy Cam. I have this camera set up to take 30-second high-definition video clips with sound. I've been using this camera on a project that I've been running in the Sierra National Forest since 2013, and the footage I've been receiving from the Bushnell Trophy camera is absolutely amazing. Here's a clip. The green ribbon on the camera indicates a checklist has been performed and the camera is ready for deployment. I am working with so many cameras in the field, it is easy to make errors with deployment. There is nothing worse than getting into the field and discovering that your camera does not have a memory card, or your camera goes dead because it has old batteries. The batteries I'm using are Energizer's Ultimate Lithium. These batteries are a bit expensive, but I buy them in bulk, which helps with cost, and they will keep my cameras running for over a year in the field. I secure the cameras to trees using master lock Python cables. These cables are tough, and no one in the woods will be able to remove the camera from the tree unless they have a chainsaw or heavy bolt cutters. I also like to write the key number on the lock using a Sharpie. The keys are numbered, and with all the keys and locks that I have in the field, this really helps a lot. I also like to take a photograph of my cameras deployed using my Garmin GPS Map 62SC. It will automatically tag your photographs with the global coordinates and will display it on your GPS map. I love this feature. The woods are constantly changing, and this Garmin takes me straight to my cameras with no trouble at all. After setting up the cameras, we hiked back to the car and drove into town for some dinner. Once it got dark, we would return to Road 426 for some night maneuvers. After finishing dinner, and once it got dark, we drove around for a bit, hoping that we would have a roadside crossing. Unfortunately, no luck. So we decided to venture into the woods on foot. My niece and I have deployed the cameras, which will remain in their locations for quite some time. And at the moment, we are using our night vision technology to keep this area under surveillance. The night vision technology we are using this evening is a FLIR Scout 2 320 thermal imager. This technology is still quite expensive, and personally the higher-end FLIR cameras were out of my price range. However, with the FLIR 320, I can still record using an external DVR. The model I'm using is an Angel Eye Mini DVR, and what's nice about this setup is that the DVR has a mini video screen on the recorder, so I can share the night vision with the other team members I'm in the field with. One thing you have to remember when using an external DVR is that the DVR will display its own setup information. And as you see here, I neglected to adjust the date timestamp. No wonder the DVR did not have a green ribbon attached to it. There are many tactics that researchers use to try to lure in or elicit a response from a Sasquatch. Wood knocks are among them. So we're going to try a couple of wood knocks to see if we can elicit a response. But before we do, we're going to make sure that our audio recorders are on. The audio recorder I prefer is the Zoom H2N Handy recorder. This recorder captures 3D surround sound, and it is the best quality sound I've found at this price range. Another great feature about this unit is the SD card will hold an incredible amount of information, so you can literally leave this recorder running continuously in the field for well over 24 hours. Another approach researchers use is vocalizations. When I had my encounter in the Sierra National Forest, the creature was making whooping sounds. It's a sound that I personally prefer, so we're going to be doing a couple of whoops. Whoop, whoop. Whoop! Whoop!
Do you hear those mountain lions screaming?
Whoop! Whoop! My niece Alli and I have scoured the area for quite some time. However, we haven't come up with anything conclusive. The cameras, however, will remain in their locations and will continue to record until I collect them in the weeks to come. Also, we have had some interesting sounds in the woods this evening that for sure the audio recorders would have picked up. We'll also be reviewing that audio. So, Miss Alli, your first Bigfooting experience, what do you think?
Well, it was sure a fun adventure. We didn't get Bigfoot this time, but I think our next time we'll definitely get him.
Well, you heard it. So be sure to tune in to squatchspot.com.
The .com spot for all things Squatch.
I'm Darren Smith, and I'll see you next time here at squatchspot.com. Our quest is just beginning, so be sure to subscribe to this channel so you will be updated on future videos. In the weeks to come, we'll be heading into the mountains to conduct field research. We'll be doing follow-up investigations on recent sightings, and we'll be meeting some special guests and having some fun along the way. Be sure to visit squatchspot.com, the .com spot for all things Squatch.